So evidently I'm doing list videos now. That didn't take long. Anyway, here's 12 tidbits and tips for Wayfinder echoes that I've learned while clearing out the story and bringing Niss's build to near completion. Let's get into it. 1. Weapon drops have randomized echo slots. This is less of a concern as you're leveling and changing gear rather quickly, but I vendored so very many Umbros and long shots while I was grinding for the Book of Names before I noticed this. Keep an eye out for weapon versions with the slots you like. I'm keeping a couple variations of each for flexibility's sake, and totally not because I'm an item hoarder. Hush, you. That book still hasn't dropped for me, by the way. I feel like this might be my new Barman Shanker. 2. Deceivers have bolts, and fancy deceivers have vertical screw heads. Screw heads? Bolt heads. The twisty bit that you put the screwdriver into. Were you tired of having deceivers pop out of chests that you thought were absolutely safe? This is for you then. It took me a bit to see, but if you look at the back surface of a deceiver chest, they consistently have bolts, whereas normal safe chests don't. Might help you get through the trial of deception in case you got too close and everything quit wiggling around before you could get your handy print screen key ready. Also, just to make things a little bit spicier, in a later boss fight, every chest will have bolts. Yay! The ones with vertical heads are what you want to open, not the horizontal ones. Should save you some time on clears if, like me, RNG cursed you for crimes in a previous life, and you need to grind the same boss for a very specific set item that still refuses to drop. What? No, I'm not salty. Why do you ask? You're salty. 3. Character ability and weapon ability charges don't reset on death in boss runs or mythic hunts, so don't feel bad about wiping a couple times. For the transition from regular into mythic, I use this to my advantage, building up weapon and ultimate charges on Niss on attempts. If I killed it, cool. If not, whatever. Because on that next attempt, when everything's maxed out, I was just deleting bosses far above me in power level to get a jump start on endgame gearing. I'm not sure how long this will stay this way, so maybe use it to stretch further than you think you can before it gets patched. 4. Echoes can have some unexpected and cool interactions. Now, this one's likely hyper niche, but I just noticed this last night before recording, so I was excited to share it here because I'm not sure how many other people have noticed, and I'm not seeing a whole lot of chatter about it. The hits on enemies from the Malefic Maw Echo, which gives ability power-based damage and grants an overshield on a parry or block, contributes to building or maintaining your current combo count. Overall, this makes maintaining a higher combo, so you do more damage with everything, a bit easier in some boss fights. I'll keep an eye out for other interactions like this and keep you all posted, but if you've found anything in a similar vein, plunk the details down in the comments, let us know. 5. Materials used to upgrade Affinity points are kept on that Wayfinder when you respec. So on one hand, that keeps you from taking all of the materials that you'd been spending on one Wayfinder and then redirecting them into another. But once you've unlocked them on each of your characters, it's pretty much set it and forget it. You never have to worry about, oh, do I need to then re-spend all of these important resources along the way. Now, the cost for this and talent resets are largely inconsequential once you reach even mid-game, so try out different builds to see what you like. And more importantly, change the focus of your attribute points to reflect your gear as you settle into a more permanent set, if at all possible. This does come with one caveat. Even though the shards are banked for that character, you do still need to have an adequate number of the appropriate stones in your inventory in order to spend them. Hopefully this is just an early access bug, but it's easily worked around for now. 6. And this one's likely the most important on the list overall. Find a Spectra farm that you enjoy or is useful for multiple items. This cannot be overstated. About halfway through Awakening 1 set of Niss's daggers, each node started requiring truly obscene amounts of Spectra. I mean, sure, you could go level an alt and clear power level appropriate zones, but that has the effect of kicking the can down the road, and eventually you'll need to farm them for that character. Here's a couple strategies I've been using exclusively for farming. First, there's the arena in Frostmarch. It's a good general-purpose farm for overworld mats like Tier 0 Spectra, varying flavors, and vendor items. And it comes with the perk of dropping some very nice echoes. Doing this once you're at Mythics has a decent chance of dropping blue or purple versions of these as well, which is nice. Second, use mutators for higher tier shards while you're grinding specific drops. I needed grips of shadow shards on Niss, so clearing Riven with the single shadow mutator also let me farm some Devourer's Talons at the same time I'm getting shadow shards that I need buckets and buckets of. If grind is an inherent part of the game, may as well make it somewhat efficient, you know? 7. There's a wiki with drop locations for specific items. Leave this one alone until you hit endgame, but having an idea of which places drop what loot could save you hours of headache. Link is in the description. Similarly, a member of the Wayfinder Discord has been an absolute mad lad and is putting together the holy grail of echo lists for every echo in the game. Link for that is also in the description. 8. Use fast travel like an Unstuck. Oh, look, Squid is talking about getting stuck in terrain again. Yeah, I know. Feels like it happens at least once every session. Hebcac error, maybe. Probably. Anyway, if it happens that you wind up stuck in terrain, you got two options. 1. Let the things you're in combat with kill you, and the problem will sort itself out with a quick respawn. Or 2. Open your map, fast travel to the nearest waypoint. Don't be like me before I thought of this, and where you exit to the main menu and then log back in again, and you might be back in the same spot, or you might just drop the entire zone. 9. Dust your duplicate echoes, but it can be worth it to hold on to one lower level copy of the useful ones, or your alts, until they get leveled up. The inventory management boss in this game doesn't mess around if you neglect it. Stay on top of this to level up the echoes for your builds while you're keeping things relatively sane and tidy in your inventory. Do remember though, the other Wayfinders won't have the benefit of huge echo space until they've leveled up a bit more, so I've taken to keeping one of each useful echo at lower level until my roster is all at cap. 10. Weapon types aren't locked out by Wayfinder. Yeah, this is a bit of an obvious one, perhaps, but as an old supervisor used to tell me, your common sense isn't everyone else's. Experiment with different types of weapons to see what you vibe with. Sure, it may not be meta, but if it works well for how you play and what you like to do, get after it. This is a single-player game with optional co-op. To some extent, an idea of meta is irrelevant. Have fun and be creative. Sword and board Niss? Weird, but go for it. You like it, I love it. 11. The third mutator slot is a beneficial buff, not another negative modifier. Seriously, I spent way too long not even thinking about plunking an infusion in that last spot to see what manner of horror awaited me because I was struggling with 2. Don't be like me. 12. This last one's likely a glitch, so use it according to your own sense of gameplay fairness and morality. The Fallen Greedlord world boss in Frostmarch can be Zerg down, since his HP doesn't reset when you respawn. Do with that information what you will. In case you don't know how to get to it, here's a quick run through the route from the nearest waypoint. And that'll do it for now. Let us know down in the comments what things you've figured out along the way that the game doesn't tell you, and what you'd like to see next for Wayfinder on the channel. I have an idea for echoes, but that will be quite a large project that I don't know if I'm quite ready to commit to. So having other ideas of what people could benefit from would be great. Thanks for watching. I've been Bald Squid. See you next time.